You've probably done hundreds of curls by now, maybe even thousands. You've chased the pump, tried every grip, every angle, every so-called mass builder. You've added sets, burned through finishers, squeezed until your arms were shaking. And still, you flex in the mirror, and your biceps look exactly the same. Flat, soft, no peak, no pop, no real density. Just arms that work, but don't look like they train. That moment, when your results don't match your effort, it hits harder than any workout ever could. I remember standing there, shirt off, staring at myself after months of clean eating, disciplined training, and strict form. And still, nothing. No matter how hard I worked, the growth just wasn't showing up. That's when I started thinking, maybe I've hit my genetic limit. Maybe I'm just not built for big arms. But the truth? The problem wasn't me, and it's probably not you either. It's the strategy, the sequencing, the execution. Most guys are using decent exercises, but they're doing them the wrong way, in the wrong order, with the wrong focus. What finally changed everything for me wasn't a new program or a trendy routine. It was stripping everything back to the basics, and doing those basics with ruthless precision. Today, I'm going to walk you through the only 3 exercises that finally made my biceps visibly bigger and more defined. Not in theory, not in 6 months, but week after week, real, noticeable growth. And just when you think it's over, I'll give you a bonus move that locks everything in. An isolation finisher that carves out your biceps with laser focus. We're not chasing fluff here. No flashy angles, no influencer hacks, just biomechanics, targeted tension, and a setup you can start using today to actually force your arms to grow. Because when you learn how to stretch the long head the right way, when you understand how to create tension that lasts from the first rep to the last, when you finally start training for contraction, control, and thickness instead of chasing, feeling, that's when things change. And that change starts right now. If this is already hitting close to home, hit that subscribe button, because what's coming next might just change the way you train forever. Exercise 1. Incline dumbbell curl, the hidden stretch that builds the peak. If there's one move that completely changed the shape of my biceps, it's this one. The incline dumbbell curl isn't flashy, but it's a stretch-based monster. Most guys never feel the long head working properly because they never train it in a fully lengthened position. This fixes that instantly. When you sit back on a 45-degree incline, with your arms hanging behind your torso, something magic happens. The long head gets fully stretched before the rep even begins. And when you curl from that stretched position, you're forcing it to work through a brutal range of motion. That's why this move isn't just good for growth. It's mandatory if you actually want that peak. But here's the catch. Form is everything. You don't lean forward. You don't swing. You don't cheat. You lock your back flat against the bench, keep your elbows back, and let your biceps do the work. Each rep should feel like a deep stretch followed by a hard squeeze, not a quick pump. And the tempo? It's what separates the casual lifters from the ones who grow. A slow negative, at least 4 seconds down, and a solid pause at the top with full squeeze. That combo creates mechanical tension and metabolic stress, 2 of the biggest drivers of hypertrophy. You can even add a twist at the top for more activation or go single arm to correct imbalances. But even without variations, this exercise alone can reshape your arms if you do it right. 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps with strict tempo and control will hit differently. You won't just feel the burn. You'll see the difference in the mirror. But that's just the start. The next move builds the kind of thickness that makes your arms look strong even when they're resting by your side. Exercise 2. Hammer curl. The secret to arm thickness and forearm power. If incline curls carve out the shape, hammer curls are what give your arms that solid, armored look. This move doesn't just target your biceps, it lights up the brachialis and the brachioradialis, two muscles that most lifters completely neglect. And here's why that matters. When your brachialis grows, it pushes your biceps up, literally making them look bigger from the side. The trick is in the grip. Using a neutral grip, palms facing each other, shifts the load away from the biceps brachii and forces those deeper, often undertrained muscles to step up. And when you build those, your arms don't just get bigger. They look dense, like there's real weight behind your punch. But again, execution is everything. If you're swinging the dumbbells up and letting gravity take over on the way down, you're wasting your time. Keep your elbows locked tight to your sides. Drive the movement with your forearms and upper arms, not your shoulders or back. Squeeze hard at the top for a full 2 count, then lower the weight slowly. That eccentric control? It's where the real damage and growth happens. You can even add variations like crossbody hammer curls for a longer range or rope hammer curls on the cable for constant tension. I like to keep hammer curls in the 10 to 12 rep range with shorter rest intervals, about 60 to 90 seconds. It keeps the pump high, forces blood into the muscle, and builds that raw, rugged density that most curls just can't deliver. But we're not done. Because while hammer curls build thickness and incline curls shape the peak, the next move is what builds the raw strength and heavy-duty mass that makes all your other lifts stronger too. Exercise 3. Barbell curl. Brutal simplicity for maximum density. This is where it all started for most of us. Standing in front of a mirror, curling a barbell like it's a rite of passage. And honestly, it still is. Because when done right, the barbell curl is a brutal, no-frills mass builder. It's the lift that adds serious size and density, fast. But here's the thing. Almost no one does it right. Most guys load up way too much weight, start swinging their hips, and turn a biceps move into a full-body heave. That might move the bar, but it's not building your arms. To get real results, you have to lock it down. Stand tall, feet shoulder-width apart, elbows pinned to your sides, like they're glued there. Now, curl that bar using only your biceps. No momentum, no cheat reps. Pause at the top. Feel that squeeze. Then lower slowly. Take at least 3 to 4 seconds on the negative. That eccentric phase is where the growth happens. That's the difference between working out and building muscle. And because you're using a barbell, you can load it heavy, 6 to 8 reps per set, all with strict form. Biomechanically, this movement hits everything. Both heads of the biceps brachii, the brachialis, and even part of the forearm. It's a complete mass builder, especially when paired with solid tempo and full range of motion. Want to tweak it? Use an easy bar for wrist comfort. Or switch to a reverse grip to blast your brachialis even harder. You can even finish your last set with a drop set to push past failure, if you're ready for that kind of pain. But here's what matters most. This is a foundational lift. It's not fancy, it's not flashy, but it flat out works. And it lays the groundwork for every other arm movement to be more effective. And now that you've got shape, thickness, and density covered, it's time to hit your biceps with pure isolation and laser-focused tension that takes everything to the next level. Bonus exercise, preacher curl, pure isolation for peak contraction. If you've ever felt like your biceps aren't fully engaging, like the tension disappears halfway through the set, this is your solution. The preacher curl isolates the biceps like no other movement. No cheating, no momentum, just pure, concentrated tension from start to finish. What makes it special is the setup. With your upper arms braced against the pad, your shoulders can't help you. Your elbows stay fixed. The range of motion becomes brutally strict. That means every inch of the lift is controlled. And your biceps do all the work. From the very first rep, you'll feel a deep stretch at the bottom. That's the long head being fully lengthened. Then, as you curl up and squeeze at the top, the contraction becomes intense and immediate. It's this combination of stretch and squeeze without any momentum that makes preacher curls so devastatingly effective. You can use an easy bar, a straight bar, or even dumbbells if you want to hit each arm independently. Want to take it further? Try slow eccentrics, 4 to 5 seconds down, or add partials at the bottom to keep tension constant. And don't be afraid to go lighter here. This isn't about ego, it's about precision. 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps with clean form can do more for your biceps than 10 sloppy sets of anything else. Add this at the end of your arm workout, and you'll walk out with a pump so sharp it looks like you photoshopped your arms. But now that you've got all 4 weapons in your arsenal, peak, thickness, density, and isolation, let's talk about how to bring it all together into one simple, devastating strategy for serious growth. Programming strategy. How to combine all 4 for maximum biceps growth. Now that you've got the full arsenal, it's time to turn this into a plan. Because knowing the right moves is only half the battle. The magic happens when you put them together in the right sequence, with the right intention. Start your session with barbell curls. Why? Because they're heavy, demanding, and tap into raw strength. You'll be fresh, focused, and able to lift with intensity. Stick to 3 or 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps with strict form and full control. This is your density builder. Treat it like a main lift. Next, move into incline dumbbell curls. You've just overloaded the mid-range with barbell curls. Now, it's time to stretch the long head and build that peak. Go for 3 sets of 8 to 10 with long negatives and a hard squeeze. Feel every rep. Don't just count them, own them. After that, it's hammer time. Hammer curls come in strong at the mid to high rep range, 10 to 12 reps, with minimal rest. They'll thicken your arms, light up your forearms, and make your arms look strong even before they are strong. Control is key. No swinging, no rushing. Finally, finish with preacher curls. This is your isolation move. The closer, drop the weight, raise the focus. Go for 3 sets of 10 to 12 with clean reps and maybe even a drop set at the end. This is where the burn gets personal. Follow this sequence once or twice a week, depending on your split. Stack mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage in that order. And you'll force your biceps to grow. Not randomly, not hopefully, but predictably. Because when you stop guessing and start training with purpose, that's when everything changes. You don't need 20 different exercises to build big biceps. You don't need fancy machines, exotic grips, or random supersets. What you need is precision, intention, execution. Barbell curls gave you the foundation, raw strength and brutal density. Incline dumbbell curls carved out the long head and built the peak. Hammer curls added that thick, powerful look, the kind of arms that look strong even relaxed. And preacher curls? They isolated everything. No momentum, no cheating, just focused tension and undeniable contraction. These 4 moves aren't trends, they're not hacks. They're the reason my arms finally started to grow after years of stagnation. Not overnight, but consistently, session after session, week after week. Because when you stop obsessing over variety and start doubling down on what actually works, that's when your physique changes. And when you realize that effort doesn't equal progress unless it's pointed in the right direction, you stop wasting time. Now it's your move. What's the one thing you're changing in your training after this? If this video gave you at least one aha moment, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep building this together. And if you want more deep dives like this, ones based on real training, not trends, you know what to do. Hit that bell so you never miss a drop, because here, we don't just curl, we build arms that speak for themselves.